Hey everybody, welcome back to the Honey and Absinthe channel. We are your hosts. I'm Vincent, a background designer for animation.
And I'm Janet, the ex-Disney artist turned independent creator, and in this video we're going to be reacting to me drawing a commission. So hopefully by the end of this video you'll learn some tips and tricks on how to do an ink commission.
Alright, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
What are we drawing here?
So I got commissioned to draw Tamaki from My Hero Academia.
Tamaki, the soft boy.
Yes, the soft boy. Ooh. Yeah. A lot of girls like him, according to TikTok.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like him too. He has a nice character arc. Mm-hmm. He is really shy and he gains confidence, and I think it's really relatable for a lot of young teens.
Yeah, he's this hero who has fantastic powers. Like whatever he eats, like if he eats like takoyaki or something, he like a tentacle comes out of his arm.
Yeah, he can morph his limbs into whatever he eats, I guess.
And he's like this really powerful dude, but he's crippled by his shyness.
Yeah, and his lack of confidence.
Yeah.
So most of his story arc is just him gaining confidence, and people just really love how shy he is.
Yeah, his best friend is like the most outgoing guy in his class, Mirio.
Yeah.
So he's great.
Yeah.
I really like that someone commissioned you to do this one.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
I have drawn him before, actually, on my own while I was practicing inking and building up a library of commission samples for, at the time we were preparing for WonderCon. I think someone bought it, or it's still in the online store if you want it. But with that one, I drew him as confident Tamaki. And even though I think it's a pretty good drawing, it doesn't suit his character or what people want to see from him, of his character. Like, they want him to be shy because they want to like protect him. Yeah. Protect the shy soft boy.
Right.
So in this one, since it's a commission, I knew that the person commissioning me probably wants shy Tamaki.
Right.
So I made sure in the drawing phase, I made him as like soft boy as possible.
It's easy appeal points is what it is, to make him like little coy and like little shy. Yeah. It automatically makes you go like, wah,
yeah, like,
wah, wah. So right here, you did a really great job at laying that head.
Yes.
You did a good job with that head.
So with these smaller commissions, they're basically portraits, because if you try to do a full body or include more of the body, what I found is it's just not as cool looking of a commission. So for these small commissions, they're 6x8. They're mostly portraits, which means the expression, the head drawing, and the volume of the drawing needs to be really solid. Right. Because whenever it's not for me, it ends up being like, oh, that's an okay drawing. But when it's a good drawing underneath, that's when this size really shines.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. You're finally getting into the inking.
Yes. I am inking his hair and his face, and I'm being so delicate, you guys. With some like pretty boys and pretty girls and people who have to look really attractive, I need to like turn it on.
It's really difficult. It's really easy to screw up because you have to make them as appealing as possible.
Yeah.
And those are just precise increments of like, you know, the brow or the spacing between the nose and the mouth, those types of things.
Very almost like millimeters.
Right.
If it's off even by a little bit, if the apex of the curve is off even just a little bit, it changes it drastically. So when I'm doing his costume or costuming in general, what I've been focusing on a lot lately is volume. Ooh. So I mean, especially it's hard to be so focused all the time when you're doing things traditionally. There's stamina to this, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So things like that little metal piece of his costume, that collar thing, I really intentionally try to make it as volumetric as possible. Yeah. Because sometimes, especially with perspective on objects, that's just the #1 thing you kind of gotta look out for.
I can see it in the thickness of the hair and the bunching up of the cloak, you know? Like you're really trying to push depth and form, because that, you know, the cloak could have easily just been like how they do in the anime, just very straight, like very like simple, and that's its own appeal too. But what you're trying to do here, especially since we're so close up on this character, make everything look as sexy and luscious as possible.
And honestly, the more I do this, the more I realize how that applies to making comics as well. Because, you know, when you're making a comic, you have the giant panels and the smaller panels. And one of my mistakes early on when I first started doing things like webcomics and whatever is those smaller panels, you think, oh, it's easy. All I have to do is draw like someone's face. But actually, it's kind of deceptively hard because those smaller panels means even like a face needs to be a lot more detailed.
Yeah. The audience is going to be focused on that one panel with that one face. So
normally you wouldn't draw the character with so much detail in those bigger panels because you're showing their whole body and there's so much going on. But when it's just the face, you gotta figure out little ways to make it interesting.
Yeah, and they're always usually character moments too, right? So
so even like how I hatched like his cheeks.
Are those for the blushies or?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a great opportunity to add some texture to his face.
Sure, yeah.
Which is like, it draws your eye straight to the face, in my opinion. Because without it, I was really scared to do it actually, because it can easily mess it up.
Yeah, and like I think blushies, especially for people who are used to anime appeal, easy appeal cheat.
Yes.
Easy, so easy.
Yeah.
Just put blushies on it and you immediately go, oh.
Yeah. You can overdo it for sure.
Of course.
So now
you're filling in the eyes, and now he has a soul.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if you guys saw, but earlier on, I gave Tamaki regular human ears, and I had to go into some whiteout to give him his elf ears.
Right. So
you always be looking at reference.
Oh my gosh! Imagine if you sent this to the commission person with the regular ears. Oh my gosh.
I would have had to redo it probably.
Yeah, of course.
I probably would have.
Out of embarrassment.
Yeah.
Out of shame and embarrassment.
So now I'm going in and I'm toning the areas of his costume that needs tone, and that, you know, it's not the most interesting part of the process for sure, but it's actually really important to plan out your tones, especially when you're going to be adding color like I am right now. I think I'm using either watercolor or gouache here.
And this is all a balancing act, right? You have like spaces where they're really dark and black, and you're planning out their spaces that are lighter in wash.
Yeah.
And then I assume to make him come really forward, you're gonna make his background black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually a painting technique.
Right.
So if you guys don't know, there's things called, how we were taught how to paint, you have to have figures that are light against dark or dark against light. So when I'm toning things, or even adding color like I am here, I'm really thinking about, is the character going to be a dark figure on a light background, or a light background with a dark background with a light figure. And you kind of have to do that inside the character design as well to make it interesting. Otherwise, it'll just be all like gray and flat looking.
It's all for the sake of clarity.
Yeah.
I think out of everything, clarity might be the #1 most important thing.
Yeah, clarity and in a way contrast.
Yeah.
Depending on the style.
That all helps clarity.
Yeah.
So make sure everything is clear, everybody.
Yeah. So
look at that.
Yeah, so I had put all the base color and tone on, and I started shading in his face to give more variation on tone.
Ooh, I was wrong. You used gold. Look at that. And that still does it because it's
dark.
But it's also color contrast too.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that.
Yes.
Look at she's thinking. She's thinking.
I think sometimes.
She's thinking. Contrast.
I use my brain sometimes.
Light against dark and color contrast. Yeah. Boom! Combo! Combo!
And you can't ever forget the white highlights. So here I'm using the deleter #2 ink, white ink, and it's something we started doing not immediately. We didn't know to use whiteout and white ink when we first started doing traditional inks, but you kind of need it for that extra sparkle or to fix mistakes. Yeah.
Right. If you really like this video, do us a huge favor and like, subscribe, flick our bells and buttons over there, and leave a comment down below for who you think Janet should draw next.
All the materials that I used in this video will be linked down below. If you end up buying something, it helps the channel out at no extra cost to you. Also, if you want your own original ink commission, head over to honeyandabsinthe.com. Also, we have merch. I am currently wearing the Run shirt.
And if you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, wherever you can find us.
And don't forget to daydream.